Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. In today's tutorial, we'll be learning how to cut and sew the structured sleeve that you are seeing on your screen. The thing is, this structured sleeve, there are several places that you can use it on a dress. It does not have to be on the sleeve alone, because the one I made, I didn't use it as the sleeve, I used it on the waistline. But majorly, to make any structured sleeve like this, it is the same method. The only thing that differs is the shape. Is majorly the shape you are trying to achieve that differs, and maybe the fabric that you are using, but it is the same method to cut and sew to make generally this kind of structured sleeve or cape like this, regardless of where you are attaching the structured cape to on your dress. You can use it as your sleeve. Like I said, in my case, I used it on the waistline of my dress. I just need you to know that to successfully make capes like this is majorly the same method. The things that differ are just the shape you are trying to achieve and the kind of fabric that you are using, but everything you need to make the sleeves stand like this, they are majorly the same thing. My name is Oluwatosin. In case this is the first time you are seeing my channel, and you're welcome. So I used mine on the waistline of my dress like this, and in this tutorial I'm going to be telling you how to make a structured cape like this. I'll not be referring to it as a sleeve, because like I said, it is not only on the sleeve that you can use it, you can also use it on other parts of your dress. I've made a tutorial on how to make this structured cape before, but I used another method in that tutorial, and then I found an easier method to cut and sew this cape, and I decided to make another tutorial on it. If you're interested in watching the previous method that I used in achieving this cape, the link to that video is currently showing up, and it will also be down in the description box. So if you're interested in watching that video, you can check it out. Just check out for the link in the description box. So when you are done watching this one, you can go back to watching that one. But in this video, I found a very easy method, a stress-free method, because the other method I used was kind of stressful, but the result was still the same at the end of the day. Then I found this method that is very easy to cut and sew this cape, and I decided to make another tutorial on it. So this is the fabric that I used for mine, and I cut it straight because I was trying to achieve a straight structured cape. As you can tell from the video of the dress, I also used boni. I used this sewable boni, and then I also used the thickest gum stay. You can also use collar stay for this. You know that collar stay is very thick, almost as thick as this thickest gum stay. So you can either use collar stay or this thickest gum stay, and then you'll be needing a lot of stay. But for this my own, I did not add stay. If you want it very structured, you will need to put a lot of stay. So like I said earlier, regardless of the shape you are trying to achieve, you just have to cut out that shape. Is either you cut it out first on your pattern paper and transfer to your fabric, or you just cut it directly on your fabric. And because you know you'll be needing the fabric for front and back, you have to cut two of that shape. In my own case, I used my iron to fold it, as you can see, because I cut it together. Since it's straight, I didn't want to be splitting it up and down. But you know, if it's not straight, it might not be convenient to cut together like this. But since I'm working towards a straight structured sleeve, I cut my fabric together. So this is for the front and for the back now, and you just have to be mindful of how wide you want yours to be. This is the wideness of mine. I want it to be 5 inches wide, so I proceeded to cutting a fabric that is 11 inches wide, and the length, you must have measured the length depending on where you are using it on your dress. You must have measured across the part that this structured sleeve will be on your dress. So I worked with my length as well. Now to start, the first thing you're supposed to do is to attach your interfacing, which is your stay, to your fabric first before you sew your boning. But like I said, I did not use interfacing for mine, but I would advise that you use interfacing. So I marked where my boning will be sewn on. I skipped like 1 inch before I started sewing my boning, and I stopped on 1 inch on the other side as well. And then I did 2 lines of boning, and I gave it a very good press. You know, boning is kind of coily, so I pressed it so that it will be straight at the end of the day. So make sure you give it a very good press to straighten up your bony. And I used 2 lines of bony. You can use more than 2 lines, you can use 3, you can use 4. It depends on how wide your structured sleeve is going to be. So in my case, because I want it to be just 5 inches wide, I used just 2 lines of the bony. So after sewing the bony like this, and don't forget that stay will be gummed on your fabric before you sew the bony. You can even gum that stay 2 times, 3 times to give it that very like the thickness. Now you are going to use your pressing iron to fold the edge of your fabric just like I'm doing. Use your pressing iron to fold it on both sides first. If yours is cut into 2 parts, use your pressing iron to fold it on the 4 sides, 2 sides for each part. Then attach your thick gum stay on top of your fabric. You're attaching your thick gum stay to just one side of your fabric. If you cut it together like this, you're attaching to just one side. But if you cut it separately, you're attaching to one of your fabric. When you are done attaching your thick gum stay, you will skip that part that you have folded inside with your iron. You will not attach your gum stay to that part. You will skip it, and then you proceed to turning. You will use one piece to turn the other piece, and if it's together like this, you will turn both sides. And after turning, you are going to flip it to the right side from that other part that you used your pressing iron to fold inside. When you are done flipping it to the right side, you are now going to neatly top stitch across that part. Regardless of how long or however the shape is, you're going to neatly top stitch. Top stitch, don't let it like it's almost not showing, your thread is almost not showing, your top stitching is almost not showing. So you top stitch as neat as possible, and majorly that is it on how to make this structured cape. And you can now proceed to attaching it to whichever part of your dress that you want to attach it to. Like I said, if you want it very very thick, you should use more than one layer of stay. You can use 2 or 3 layers of stay before you sew your bony on top of it, before you now gum your thick gum stay or collar stay on top of it, before you now turn it with the other fabric. And if your fabric is cut into 2, not cut together like mine like this, you are going to put the stay on both fabrics, but you not put the bony and the collar stay on both fabrics. You put it on just one of the fabrics, and that one that you'll be putting just the stay is the outer part of your cape. The inner cape is the one that you put the stay, that you put your um bony, and then you put your thick gum stay on top. That will be the inside. The other one that you put just the stay will be the one outside, so that they will not be seeing the lines that you've used to sew the bony on top of your fabric. Thank you so much for watching this tutorial from the beginning to this point. If at this point you are still with me and you've not subscribed, please kindly subscribe, and do not just subscribe, turn on the notification bell so that you'll be notified next time I upload a new tutorial on this channel. If this video has been helpful to you, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. You can as well help me share this video amidst your friends and your colleagues. If you have any question, please ask me down in the comment section. Then, have you seen any of these videos that are currently showing on your screen? If you've not watched any of them, you should click on them and check them out, because they are also educating sewing tutorials like this. And I'll see you in my next tutorial. Bye.